What's up, everybody? TonyPizzaGuy here, back alongside Ango. A little bit jet lagged we are, but we're here. Ango, how was your first experience in New York City, baby?
If only I had the words to describe it, but I do gotta say I feel like crap.
Yeah.
Man.
That's usually how it is. You go hard for like a weekend, and then like you're just dead after that. It's crazy, but over this past weekend, we got to play WWE 2K18, and we wanted to discuss what we actually got to talk about and what actually went down. I was going to put this video up a little bit earlier, but we've had a lot of stuff going on. We had so much stuff happening. We had Raw, we had SmackDown, we had traveling, we had Bobby Roode debuting on SmackDown, we had Bobby Roode in WWE 2K18. The entrances dropped. There's a whole bunch of craziness. You can check out all the videos on the channel if you want to check that out. But one thing I want to do is talk about two things, I should say, before we get into this video. And first, I want to let you guys know about the Pizza Party Pro. Now, the Pizza Party Pro is a way that you can support the channel, and the channel is going to grow exponentially. There's a lot of crazy rewards that we have here, such as video game giveaways, a Discord server, pizza box where we have a monthly subscription type thing with cool items such as video games, wrestling related, all that stuff, plus supercard team giveaways. There's a whole bunch of things. I don't want to go on and on and on about it, but if you want to check it out, make sure you go over to tony.pizza/pro and take a look at the Pizza Party Pro today. Ango, you want to tell our viewers about something awesome we're also doing?
Yeah, so we actually just launched shop.tony.pizza, or should I say we revamped our new merchandise. We're doing a soft launch right now exclusively for the Pizza Party. If you guys use the code 2K18, you'll get 10% off on our website. So all you got to do is go to shop.tony.pizza. We're trying out a couple different products. It's a really cool website. It's pretty affordable, and you guys could get some hats, phone cases, t-shirts, and stuff like that. Obviously, depending on the feedback, we'll probably add some more merchandise and all that good stuff at a later time. I'm actually really excited about this, though, because we've been getting a lot of orders, and we've only been promoting this through Twitter. So that's been a pretty cool thing. Even though I've been extremely tired from New York, I've been literally handling all these orders that have been coming in. So it's kind of kept me away from the videos for a day or two. But the good thing is we're here, Tony, and I think we have something super exciting to talk about in today's video. So I think we should just get right into it.
Yeah, we got WWE 2K18, all the goodness from us playing the game. Now, me and you played for a little bit. Then we had to end our session early because we had to go run and do the interviews. And then we came back and each played separately. I played a match with Tubby Emu, and you played a match. I think you said you played by yourself, right?
Yeah, I was a loner.
Okay, so that's cool. Just to kind of see how the CPU plays and all that stuff. So first off, I want to just run down the superstars that were in the game and their overalls because people love that sort of info, that goodness here. We got to play as AJ Styles, which was 89, Baron Corbin, which was 86, Bobby Roode, overall 88, Eric Young is an overall 83, John Cena, overall 93, Neville is an 84, Orton is 90, Joe is 91, Seth is 92, and TJP is 77. Getting shafted is TJP over there, but it's interesting to see that Samoa Joe is actually higher rated than AJ Styles, and AJ Styles was a former WWE champion, and Samoa Joe was not. So how did
that was actually addressed too by Samoa Joe in my interview, which we'll probably have up at some point. But very interesting choice considering that Samoa Joe has not won the world title.
Yeah, definitely. It was a weird thing there, but I guess Joe's contending for that title right now, so they're putting him a little bit higher. I mean, his size, his ability, I don't know. I guess at the time they made his model, that's what the ranking for him would be. Just kind of wanted to get a few little menu things here because I did get to take a look at the menu because you could pause it, and there was actually some features on here that I wanted to go over. As far as like there's new skills in this. I don't know if you got to see this angle, but there are some skills here. Then a couple that I thought were very interesting. There's a car finisher skill and a semi-trailer finisher skill. And for the semi-trailer, it's a ladder leaned against a semi-trailer and to do a finisher off of that. And that only takes one finisher to do those. And then also there's a semi-trailer and truss daredevil skill as well. So you have all of those like new skills and abilities. So I'm thinking backstage we have the parking lot area is a new area. So I think that's going to be playing when you can do like a pedigree on the car or something off a semi-trailer. It's going to be very interesting with those new skills in there.
Yeah, I thought one thing that was really interesting. This is kind of like something that I've pitched before on the channel about like signature moments.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of reminded me of something like that. I mean, obviously not to the extent that I had presented, but it's a very good option to have in the game, and the curiosity lies as to will it be overused. But it's definitely a very cool add-on to the game.
Right. And then also going along with the menu stuff, the options, because you can kind of take a look. If you pause the game, you can look at some of the options. They did have a parking lot area as one of the areas. When we're talking about like match creator options, we had that. And then we also had a 2 out of 3 falls, and first blood was in there as well as a match type, which is very interesting because, you know, a lot of people probably didn't think First Blood was going to be in there because WWE is PG. No, but it's in there. If you want to go into Match Creator and do that and save it as a match, a First Blood match can be a First Blood match in the game. And then also we have those other like typical options, you know, DQ, rope break, ring exiting, that kind of stuff. The normal, you know, match changing things. But I thought it was very interesting that they brought First Blood as an option. I think that when we were doing like predictions and stuff, I think First Blood was one of those match types that we had actually talked about.
It was. I mean, I'm not shocked by it necessarily. I think the real big question mark here is how will WWE 2K promote this and market this feature?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not necessarily a match type. It's just a custom, like when you go to your custom matches, you know?
Right.
So for the 3 modes that we got to play, it was Elimination Chamber, normal one-on-one match, and then what was the other one?
Royal Rumble and multi-man.
But there's only 8 guys.
There was
right?
no chamber though.
Yeah, so or there was not chamber. Okay, so
it was Royal Rumble and then multi-man tag and then that match and then one-on-one.
Yeah. So regardless, though, one of the things that had come to my attention though was this was not on there. So I don't think 2K is going to market it necessarily as like an official match type.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you go into Match Editor, just like you would change the referee and things like that, I think that's where you're going to see this feature. So I'm not. You know, I'm all for it. I think it's a great idea, but you could definitely tell it's not going to be a priority thing that they're going to be marketing. And probably a lot of that has to do with the fact that it's a PG product.
Right. There's just one other thing I wanted to note here. When we're going to get into like the core gameplay here, because there's a lot to talk about in core gameplay. We had Bobby Roode's entrance, which I will say Bobby Roode's entrance and Sanity's entrance are probably my 2 favorite entrances in the whole game that I got to focus on. Like what we played is Bobby Roode and Eric Young, and then I played as AJ Styles, and then Tubby was John Cena. What match did you do by yourself?
I did Neville versus TJP, which, I mean, I have my own little notes that I have right here. But, man, those 2 guys perfectly detailed in 2K18.
Yeah, from what I've heard, I didn't actually play as Neville, but what I heard, Neville is like one of the best looking guys in the entire game.
100%, hands down. And honestly, you could throw TJP on that list, even though his overall is pretty low. Being a guy that's on 205 Live, he's the first Cruiserweight champion. That doesn't make me the happiest, but then again, too, it is 205 Live. It's not the biggest priority for WWE, nor are they the biggest stars, so they're not going to be bringing that much value to the sales aspect of the game. But I will say TJP, everything from the entrance to his taunts, his mannerisms in the game, 1,000% are the most accurate I've seen so far. More accurate than Bobby Roode, more accurate than Neville.
TJP was that legit for you? He was like, he had dab on them haters and all that?
Well, that's why. So the big thing is, it's no secret in video games, right? You have these lists of taunts. TJP does all the taunts that he normally does on TV. But what's really cool is when he does these taunts, they actually take really, really long. And if you ever watch TJP, he does glow. Like, he's a very cocky guy. Mm-hmm. So, you know, it could be an issue if you want to sit there and taunt the entire game. Obviously, you're trying to level, you know, move up your meter and stuff to get a finisher and signature move. But, yeah, TJP, I mean, I think hands down, I think he was one of the most accurate guys in the game. And I think a lot of that had to do with his taunts. His entrance was huge. Obviously, when he's doing the dab, you know, just things like that. It's the little things that you tend to realize. And of course, the lighting, you know, the lighting technology that they have in 2K18 really benefits a guy like TJP. His entrance is all colorful. He comes out.
Right.
And when you look at the crowd, you know, he's a heel in the game. So, you know, they're not cheering for TJP. They're booing him. And just kind of my experience with that, him and Neville was a really, really fun match. And it helped that the moveset was super accurate and the mannerisms and taunts were super accurate.
Yeah, and also talking about like Bobby Roode, because I did play as him. He does have that, if you heard the NXT entrance that we uploaded on YouTube, he has that same audio when he's on the main roster. And what I was thinking before I actually got to see his debut on the main roster, I was like, there's no way the whole crowd's going to chant that loud. But then when I watched SmackDown, the whole crowd did chant that loud. So I'll give it to him. It's legit 100% one of my favorite entrances in the game. So as far as the game goes and the gameplay and the core gameplay, you can tell by these videos because we're going to have gameplay overlaid. It just looks pretty. It's a very pretty looking game. And they do get you real here because Seth Rollins does have the new finisher, the knee finisher, the ripcord knee finisher, where he pulls him around and knees him in the face. So that's in the game if you guys wanted to know that. And something astonishing that I actually witnessed, right? Because I was playing AJ Styles and John Cena. And I know we have the new pickup ability, and I want to get into that. But this is something that I don't think a lot of people have even talked about on YouTube. It is the interference, right? They have updated interference in this game because I don't know if you realize this angle, but interference was on. And we actually got to see interference in this game because I was playing as AJ Styles. He was John Cena. And out came Randy Orton to interfere in the match. And unlike previous games where the CPU comes out and he just walks around and does a bunch of super stuff, no, Randy Orton slid in the ring, RKO'd John Cena, and then got out of there. That was it. And I thought, that's awesome. That's so amazing. Finally, the CPU does something cool and gets out of there, unlike just sticking around and punching and doing a bunch of stupid stuff. He actually gets in there, RKO, and then leaves. So I thought that was pretty amazing.
To add on to that, I think the break-in technology was the big improvement because when you were playing as Eric Young, I don't know if you remember, but you were doing your entrance. And when I'm Bobby Roode, you're like, the lights are off, it's all foggy and stuff. And of course, you kind of got mad because I wouldn't let you finish the entrance, but I did the break-in. And as you're making your way down the ramp, it's not like the lights turn on. The lights were still off. I throw you into the ring. I start beating you up. And it was really funny because in the beginning, I'm still beating you up while you're still wearing your entrance attire. And then eventually it gets to the cutscene where, it gets taken off and everything. So, I just feel like the detail in this game is what really wins me over. I'm going to tell the viewers flat out, the game looks like a much more improved version of WWE 2K18. Like presentation-wise, there's some new camera angles and things like that. But it's not like revolutionary technology that changes the way the game is played, but it changes the way the game is looked at and the way it's viewed, right? Like the presentation is off. Like it's off the chain. Like there is nothing better in terms of pro wrestling games. Like this presentation is hands down the best. And I just thought, especially when you look at it from the perspective of me beating Eric Young up and his entrance is not done, I thought that was very, very cool.
Yeah, I thought it looked really good and they had the lighting correct and everything because, I think it was last year when you beat them up, the lights would just come on or whatever, but I think it's like more key there. And then when they actually get off of the break-in, they do like a taunt now, and it's like a full taunt instead of like, I think it panned to the crowd last year. Wasn't that how it worked? This year it does like a taunt, like your superstar does their taunt, and then that shows. I think that's just really neat that it does a taunt, and then it seems more natural, as it flows.
Absolutely. I did have something in my notes that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say the commentary is such a breath of fresh air in 2K18. It is so refined. I don't know how much you were able to listen to because when me and you were playing one-on-one, they did allow headphones and the headphones weren't working that well.
Yeah.
When I was doing the solo game, I actually took another station and just against TJP, I can't believe I'm saying this on the record, but Byron Saxton is like super great for WWE 2K18.
Exactly. That's what I thought when I first heard it. And then I heard him in the game as well. And I thought he was great. Also, Corey Graves is awesome because he actually throws some jabs at Byron Saxton, which I thought were really great as well.
Oh, yeah. And that's what it comes down to. It's so realistic. Like I said, the game kind of looks like WWE 2K17, but in a much more enhanced way. It's not like they changed the controls. Obviously, they added the carry option.
Mm-hmm.
But the way the game looks, man, it's a game changer. And for me, that's a huge, huge thing that I love about the game. Because what often happens, especially with Jerry Lawler, it ruins it every single time you play a game. It's like a repeat every single time. It gets old. Corey Graves bickering with Byron Saxton just, I don't know. It's so refined. I think it's just the small things that make this game so much better. Things that we weren't necessarily complaining about in such a big way, but then when you realize how much it improved the game, it's a very, very big deal. Now, I do want to be 100% clear that we did not get to play, all the different game modes and with all the different roster members. So obviously, once it gets to that point in time, we're probably going to have a more official verdict on the game. But for what we played and what we saw, honestly, I'm very happy about the update. Like I can tell that 2K18 is going to be a way better simulation pro wrestling game. So
yeah, for sure. And I also wanted to, before you finish it up here, I got a few more things I want to get off my chest. As far as the commentary goes, I have to just say that I feel like the weak point in commentary is Michael Cole. I feel like there's these weird pauses in some of the parts of the game that just don't make it for me. Like sometimes it goes he'll have a weird pause where he'll be like, so what do you think of him at this current point in the match? It's like a weird, it's like, I know they were trying to what do you think of blank? And then they're going to put a superstar's name in there or whatever, but it just didn't flow for me. And I felt like Saxton and Graves were good. And I felt like they carried over some of the commentary from 2K17 with Michael Cole. And that just felt kind of awkward compared to the Saxton and Graves. I don't know if you felt the same way, but that's what I was feeling.
I didn't notice that in my gameplay. But granted too, obviously it was very, very loud. Snoop Dogg was very, very loud.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you're playing that game, you kind of just tune it out anyway and don't even pay attention to the commentary. I know that happens to me too. It's just I kind of just forget about it. But also I wanted to talk about the new mechanic, which was the carry system. So to do the carry system, you have to hit R1 or right bumper, and then the right stick you flick in any direction. So up, down, left, or right, and you'll do a different carry maneuver. One of the things that I felt kind of odd was I would pick them up for a powerbomb position, which is cool. Your opponent has a certain amount of time. They just tap the O button. They tap it as fast as they can, and they can get out of the carry. I tried to powerbomb them into the turnbuckle, but it did not work for when I was playing as AJ Styles against John Cena. I think there's a point where you have to run and then powerbomb into the corner if you want to do that. But I was just literally picked him up, walked over to the corner and powerbombed. And I thought he was going to go into the corner, but he did not. So, I don't know if you had more experience with the pickup and carry system than I did.
I did. Maybe it's different with the cruiserweights because they're a little bit lighter on the feet and their moveset and everything like that. But one of the things that was pretty cool was I was actually getting carried by TJ Perkins. I was playing as Neville. I was actually able to reverse it midair. So while you're actually in that position, if you're being carried by your opponent, you're able to reverse it. I was able to reverse it into a hurricanrana. Granted, there's so many different superstars, so many different move sets. I think, a DDT or, there's so many different ways to go about it. I did like that aspect of it just because it's not a simple, hey, press this button and do this move. The reversal part of the game is still very much intact, and it still gives you a little bit more control.
Something I wanted to mention as well, Ango, I don't know if you even thought of doing this, but if you have them up for that carry position, you can actually do it straight into a finisher. So I had him up and I was playing against AJ Styles. I was able to hit the finisher button and he would go down and I could Styles clash him. And then he also was able to transition, I think it was a power bomb, into a attitude adjustment. So that was really cool. I thought that's just the fact that you have them up in the carry position and then you can throw them into your finisher is a really neat aspect of the game.
That's very cool. I actually didn't get to see that because Neville does the
red arrow.
The red arrow. But that's a very cool thing. Obviously, when you have guys like Brock Lesnar or Jeff Hardy or Randy Orton, maybe I think a midair RKO. It's just a very cool feature. I actually like the carry feature. I think it's a nice add-on to the game because it's going to add a little bit more of a different element that we're not necessarily used to. Obviously, I had very little experience with it, but from what I saw, I would say it was definitely a cool add-on.
Yeah, and the one other thing I noticed is that you now roll out in singles matches. I don't know if you have seen that, Ango.
Yep.
So you get a certain amount of damage done to you and you will roll out, but it's not like the same rollout where you roll out and lay on the ground. You actually stand up on your feet. It's kind of like how do you describe it? Like a Kevin Owens type rollout. I know if you're close enough to the ropes and you're on the ground, you can roll out. It's similar to that, I think, right? Isn't that how you'd explain it?
100%, yeah.
So it's enough damage is done, you'll roll out and get to your feet. It's kind of a nice little break in the match in case you're getting. So yeah, I like it because there's times in previous games where you're just getting your ass handed to you over and over and over and over, and there's like nothing you could do. But now it'll let you roll out and get that little pause in there that'll kind of help you. And also, if someone's in the action, in the what do I want to call the sequence of rolling out, you can stomp them or stop them from rolling out. So there is that option as well. So it's not like they're going to roll out and every time and it's annoying. No, you can still fight back and either pick them up or stomp on them and all that stuff. So that's cool. And I thought that was cool because it just adds a little bit more to the game and keeps it more fresh. So there's like always that moment where you're like, oh no, he's rolling out, because that's one of my most frustrating things is triple threat matches or whatever, when the guy rolls out and you're wanting to finish the match, but you can't because they rolled out. So it's very interesting. So as far as anything else, is there anything else like big out of this that you really could wanted to mention here?
Yeah, I mean, I think the last thing I really want to talk about, and I don't know if this was, I don't think this was, it's obviously an early build. I feel like navigating the menus was kind of laggy in a way.
Yeah. I was going to mention that the multi-man matches as well. We were told they were a little bit laggy, and the reason why is because this isn't the final build of the game and it's still a work in progress. So it's best to play one-on-one matches. So that's what we did. So like, yeah, obviously the work in progress mode is going to be a little bit laggy like it was. So we have to put that out there to know that, yeah, that's how it was. You know, you didn't get to experience this last year, but last year when I played 2K17, it was like the same kind of way. It was a little bit laggy, but in the final build, they fixed that all up and polished it together.
Yeah. I mean, these are things that I expect to be fixed by the end of the cycle. But the thing is, when you look at it from that perspective of like what they added to it and what they removed, you could tell a big difference between this year and last year. It's a lot more of a simulation-based game, which last year that was obviously their goal. I think ever since 2K took over, it's to become a more realistic game. But, I think that's a good thing. When you look at it from what they've changed, visually, you may not think it's so much because obviously you're looking at the graphical improvements, but you can definitely tell that the game plays really well. And I think once they have that final build, it's going to make a lot of sense.
Right. I think final build is going to be tightened up. If you like the simulation and the realism in the WWE, you're going to love this. This is like the best looking game ever. It's not even 4K yet. Don't know if it's going to end up being 4K. They haven't really talked about that or anything. They haven't shared those details. But it's coming out for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and then PC later. So it's going to be awesome, and I'm looking forward to this. Honestly, what I played, I really liked. I had a good time. I'm very interested to look at the car and semi-trailer finishers and the Trust Daredevil skills and stuff like that, and also looking at the 2 out of 3 falls, First Blood, and stuff like that. There's a lot of amazing things that are going to be happening in this game coming out. Just the little things, man. It's the little things. If you're an avid player of this game, I will say that you will notice the little things that are here every year, because some of the people that come out, they're like journalists, right? They play these games for like 10 minutes and then they go home and they write the review. Well, we play these games all year round for year after year after year, and we can tell you, based off of what we've played, it's the little things that you're going to love in this game. Seriously. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add before we close it out here, Ango?
Pretty much. It's just a reminder, shop.tony.pizza. Use that discount code 2K18. You'll get 10% off. Let us know if you buy something, because if you buy something, take a picture with it. We're going to tweet it, put it in a video, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and go over to tony.pizza/pro if you want to join the Pizza Party Pro and get on over there. We will let you know that if you are a sponsor on YouTube, make sure you check the Pizza Party Pro Discord server, because there's something special I threw in there for you guys, so you want to definitely get on that. And if you're part of this Pizza Party Pro, I also want to let you know that after the first of the month, we'll start delivering our rewards, because we just have to make sure the payment processes. Then you can get all your goodies from the Pizza Party Pro. Anyway, guys, for Ango, I'm going to close it out here. We got WWE 2K18 coming on the channel, and it's coming on. We're so close. We're like almost less than a month. Like, we have a little bit over a month before this game is out and we can actually play it. It's insane. I'm excited. As always, guys, we'll be back. TonyPizzaGuy 2.